to the Forever Podcast. I am your host, Nene Hooks.
It's your boy Mook, Coach Mook, Mook
Yes.
Beats, however you want to call it, man. However you want to call it.
I love it. I love it. We are a happily married couple of. Thank you, baby.
Yeah.
We are a happily married couple of almost 11 years.
Yeah.
So I'm just, happy to be married to this handsome hunk of a man.
Me too.
And so yeah, I mean, we want to get straight into it, but just the FYI, this is going to be fun. This is going to be informative.
Yeah.
It's going to be like edutainment.
Yeah, I think y'all gonna. No, I know for sure y'all gonna love it, and I know a lot of people have been quietly on the side asking us about making a podcast, and we finally here. So let's go ahead and get it started. And again, married for almost 11 years. We don't have it all together, 100%, not perfect, but we just here to share, a little bit of what God has blessed us with to you all. So first things first, we want to get started with some rapid fire questions. I got some on my phone. Just a little icebreaker, you know what I'm saying? I guess you can call it.
Yeah.
So, babe, you want to go first on yours?
Okay.
There you go.
So this is gonna be rapid fire.
We'll do 5 questions each.
Oh, can you think they can hear the thunder, baby? It is raining.
No.
This is typically one of those times where we'll be laid up watching Tubi cuddled.
Hey, if y'all haven't been watching Tubi, bro, and y'all sleep how I would sleep, go watch Tubi. Man.
Check Tubi out.
Okay.
For real.
Rapid fire questions, baby.
Okay.
You want to start or you want me to go?
Okay. You go first.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
All right, let's see.
So wait, rapid fire. The objective is to get us to answer the question quickly without hesitation. If you hesitate, we're supposed to be able to just go to another question.
Really? Let's just answer the question. We ain't gotta,
Okay, if you don't want to do it the way rapid fire is supposed to be done, then that's fine.
Oh, that's how it's supposed to be done?
Okay. No, I made that up.
Oh, okay. All right, so who's going first? You going first?
You go first.
All right, let me see. I think I might know the answer to this one, but I asked it anyways. If we were characters in a sitcom, who would play us?
If we were characters in a sitcom, who would play us?
Matter of fact, let's flip that. If we were characters in a sitcom, what 2 sitcom characters would we be?
What sitcom? You would be Martin, and I'll be Gina.
Yeah. I knew you were going to say that. So that was kind of an easy one.
Sitcom, yeah, but I mean, I feel like ideally people want to be like Bill and Claire Huxtable.
Well, I've never sat and watched the Cosby Show like that.
Oh, we could be Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil.
I'm not being Uncle Phil.
Why?
I'm not that big. Not that big at all. Next
but they
question.
were just so in love.
They were. I mean, light skin.
No, I want to be dark skin Aunt Viv.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's my favorite one. Dark skin Aunt
Viv. Yeah,
that's the real one.
She was ideal.
Okay, what's yours?
What is the silliest argument we've ever had?
The silliest argument? Probably when you thought I called you a hoe. Yeah, probably.
I know that's what you said.
I did not call her a 304. Mother-in-law, if you watching this, Mama, if you watching this, I did not call her that. She swear up and down I called her a hoe. That was not the case. I don't know what I said, bro.
I was so drunk that night. I probably was hearing stuff.
Yeah. So, mother-in-law didn't call her that. All right, let me see. My second one.
That was funny.
Let's see. Let's get into it. Describe your ideal date night in just 3 words.
My ideal date night in 3 words. Food.
Okay.
Because I don't care what we do, we gotta eat. Food.
Okay.
Fun.
Okay.
And romantic.
Romantic. Okay.
Yeah, it gotta be food involved. It gotta be some kind of fun activity.
Yeah.
We typically lately we've been trying to do things that we've just never done. Just things that didn't experience.
Okay.
And romance.
Okay.
So
I think we do a pretty good job with that for the most part with all of our dates.
We getting better, I will say. I think our date nights are getting so much better. We are really getting so far from that whole go eat, go pick up the kids type of thing.
Yeah. And they're becoming a lot older now, so they're more independent and all that stuff. So
yeah, I mean, to the point where if anybody's watching them, they can help them watch them.
Right. Okay, what's your? I'm interested to see what you're gonna say about this one.
What is the weirdest gifts we've ever given each other?
The weirdest gift we ever given each other?
Because I'm a horrible gift giver. He's a great one.
Weird.
What's the weirdest gift I ever gave you? I know I got one in mind.
I maybe want to say. I think it was. I can't remember. It was a clock you gave me. Or was it? Was it? What was it? Was it a Bob Marley clock?
So here's the thing.
All right.
I was trying to do that 5 senses thing
Oh
with
yeah.
that one. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
So I got you 5 gifts that day, and only thing you saying is that.
That's because what was the clock supposed to symbolize?
I can't remember. It
What,
was the
see
5
time or
senses.
smell time or something?
I got you 5 things for the studio. At that time, we had
Yeah.
just got in our condo, and
Uh-huh.
he was building up his studio room.
Yeah. It wasn't a bad gift. You asked weird, and it was kind of weird.
It was.
But
It was.
That
That was at the beginning of our marriage. That was so long ago.
Yeah,
We were just getting into. Well, I don't know if it was that beginning, but
no, for sure. I would say
the girls were young, so
yeah, and I mean the piggyback. The best gift you gave me was this necklace. So
yeah.
So I guess you made up for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you made up for it.
Is there a weird gift that you ever get that you feel like you ever given me?
Nah. Not that I know of.
I know, right? I can't think of it.
I'm the best gift giver.
You're a great gift giver.
So
I'm getting better though.
Nah, she's definitely getting a lot better.
I'm getting better.
All right. Let's get into it, shall we?
Let's go.
Let me see.
Let's get real. Get deep.
What is your favorite thing I do to turn you on?
Your favorite thing you do to turn me on?
Outside of the bedroom.
Oh.
Well,
I see what you're saying. That get me like.
Yeah.
Okay, I get you. Ooh, the thing you do, you literally in so many different ways, by your compliments, by your PDA. You make me feel like the sexiest, most beautiful woman in the world. Like,
you are.
You compliment me at random times. You smack me on the ass. You let me know how beautiful I am. You are constantly wanting to kiss me and touch me, and so I would say that random times of the day, no matter where we are, you make me feel beautiful and sexy.
Of course. I'm a pretty smooth guy,
Very suave. Very suave, Mr. Mook Suave.
So let's ask one more, and then let's get into the. I think we're on 5 anyways, right?
No, this 4, but it's fine. Yeah,
sure?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
So, what is the hardest thing that we've overcome together, and how did it strengthen us?
That's an easy one. Zamira's death, man.
How did it strengthen us?
How did it strengthen us? Literally in all aspects of life. Our faith, our trust within each other, our ability to overcome the worst thing any man or any father or mother can go through.
Okay.
It strengthened us because that's like a whole book, to be honest. But if I had to say one thing, it strengthened our faith for sure. It also showed us how resilient we are. It also showed us, like the Bible say, through Christ we can do anything. Man, there's so much, bro. So much.
I love that.
That's a whole podcast in itself.
That's a whole podcast. Not even just the episode. It's a whole podcast.
Yeah. I didn't say podcast.
Yeah.
That's a whole season in itself.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, but one day we're gonna write a book about this.
No, for sure. So with this podcast, this episode, I wanted us to give you all a small introductory on, how we first got married, why we got married, what led us to getting married at the age of 22 and 21, right? So, actually, I want to ask you, we've talked about it before.
We were 22 and 21.
We were 22.
Yep,
yeah, I was 22.
Yep,
you was just turning 21.
Yep.
I remember we went to, what club was that? Was it Underground? No, it wasn't Underground. It was an underground club.
No.
It was on Crescent Ave.
We were on Crescent.
Opera. No. It was across the street from Opera.
Yeah, but it was in that area. It wasn't underground. It was that Opera. Those restaurants and lounges over there.
So it was over, because I remember I was your 21st birthday, and I honestly believe you got pregnant on your 21st birthday.
I think so too.
You definitely got pregnant. So
Mama, close your ears.
Don't even just. I mean.
And when I say mama, I mean both.
Yeah, I mean but but yeah. So 22, 21. Right. We was together for a few months. We've known each other for about a year and some change.
By the time we got married.
No. By the time we got engaged and stuff like that,
Yeah.
I got a
Okay.
funny story about how we got engaged too.
Oh my god, I hate
But
this story.
cause yeah, I don't think we ever told this story.
I think anybody
I don't
knows this
think
story.
anybody know this story. Now I think about it, not even our parents, right?
Okay. Well, I want to save that one for another episode.
About what? How we got married?
How we got engaged. Are we doing that now?
No, oh,
Okay,
we
well,
do it
let's do
right
it
now.
now.
We
Let's
here,
do it
man.
now. Okay,
We
okay, okay,
if
okay,
they
okay.
watching, they finna get the full breakdown right now. They might be a little mad because we didn't tell them before, but it's nothing major. Anyway, I ain't.
Well, no, I'm not worried about anybody being mad. I don't know. For a long time, I was embarrassed by that story.
Really?
Not,
I understand why. Yeah.
or maybe embarrassed isn't the word. I
It
maybe
just was
ashamed in the sense.
really.
Mostly because obviously it's not ideal, and secondly, it's just I don't know. I think the person that I was and that everybody knew me to be,
Mm-hmm.
it literally was so different from what that looks like.
What was so different about it?
Well, let's tell the story and then you.
Okay, well we
And
can
then
go piece by piece.
okay,
So
let's tell the engagement story.
engagement story. Oh, that's gonna be kind of wild too. Okay, so
Well, to be clear, first, we were very much.
yeah,
We were already in love.
yeah.
I would say. We were already doing things that lovers do.
That we was.
And so it was a no-brainer that at some point we wanted to get married.
Yeah,
we talked about
about
marriage and what that looks like. We talked about goals for family,
yeah,
and things like that. So if I'm honest, those are the things that just made me fall more and more in love with you. Because,
and they align, right?
Right.
Values we had aligned. Yeah.
They were very aligned. I think at that point both of us wanted lots of kids anyway.
Yeah.
Mine was 5. I think yours was 3.
Mine was about 5.
5. Okay, so we pretty much we both wanted a big family.
Yeah.
He wanted to be a daddy's girl. I mean, I'm sorry, a girl dad.
Oh yeah, bro.
He wanted to be a girl dad and have his daddy's girls. He also wanted sons to share his love for shoes and things with. So
yeah.
Those things aligned.
Yeah, so we talked about all of that. So we was already mentally, we was already like, hey, okay, we're gonna get married, blah blah blah. But we didn't know how soon we was gonna get married.
Yeah. And I just think that at the time that we did end up getting engaged, I don't think that financially, mentally, we thought that we were ready.
Yeah.
But before we go forward, I want to talk about that because I think that our gripe with young couples sometimes is I ain't ready to get married. But I think I always said those are typically the ones that are living together, doing married people things, right?
Yeah.
And y'all know what I mean when I say that. The things that are supposed to be sacred between a man and wife.
Right.
But y'all doing, you have babies, and then they say they're not ready to get married. What do you think it means to be ready to get married?
For me? Oh, of course, me. What do I think it means to be ready to be married?
Yeah.
Man, honestly, I can say for myself, I honestly didn't know what it meant. I didn't know when I was ready
to be ready.
Yeah, I didn't know what it meant.
Ready to be married.
Ready to be, yeah, for sure. So I can't really speak on it because with our situations, I say that it was a line for it to happen, by God. To me, with anybody else, I actually think you just go off of a feeling, and then you just make that move. You can make the move, or you're not gonna make the move.
Yeah.
For us, it was kind of different for us, because you had got pregnant at the time, and I was heavily in the church. I was serving in the church and things like that. And if I'm being honest, you know what? I thought about this today. At the time, I honestly did feel like I was being forced to be married because I was a part of the church, and I wanted to ask you how you felt about that. But I want to say before we even get started with that conversation, at the moment, in this current time, it was the absolute best decision I made in my entire life. So I know a lot of people gonna be like, yeah, the church always doing that, stuff like that. At the time, me being young, I thought I was being forced. I thought I was being forced. Today, it was the best decision I ever made. Did you feel forced at the time? You saw water?
I got wine right here.
Oh, okay. Mm.
Do I feel like I was being forced? No. Did I feel like I was forcing you? Yes.
Really?
Yes. I want to talk. I want to talk about why I
Yeah.
felt like I was forcing you, but I think that the order of events was you got
Okay.
engaged first.
We got engaged first. You want me to tell the story how we got engaged?
Yes.
So this is how we got engaged. All my real ones know. All my real ones know. So we at QT, Panola Road QT. If you from around the way, you know how it go down at Panola Road QT.
No, road QT.
Quick Trip, that is. For those who don't know.
Quick Trip.
We getting gas. What car did I
That is a
have?
gas
I had the
station.
Mustang.
You had the
I
Mustang.
had the white Mustang.
Yeah.
And
What was I, about 3-4 months? I was small. I wasn't showing yet.
you were small your whole pregnancy though. But
I wasn't showing yet. I was
so
like, we had just told our mamas. And
yeah. So hear me out. You know how I go down there at Panola Road, QT, man. Getting gas, you know, it's crazy, and this is why I say I feel like it was aligned for us to get married. Because you know, we I think we were talking about it heavy. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was in the church, you know, serving, you know, man of God at that time. And I was looking wild, just walking around, you know, you pregnant and, you know, we're not married, whatever. So a guy pulls up to the car. But he had like a, did he have like a Ziploc bag or ring?
Nah, he had it on like a little pallet. Little jewelry
okay. He had a nice little, what you call them thing? Display of rings. He pulled up to me.
I was a couple of necklaces on there as well.
Yeah, I wasn't messing with necklaces.
It was jewelry.
It was jewelry. So Buddy pulled up. He had a nice little ring. You know, I showed it to Neek. I was like, you want a ring? He was like, what'd you say? You say something like, yeah.
You want a ring? I was like, no, I was wondering like what the ring gonna mean.
Oh yeah.
Like any other woman would. Like, okay, if you give me one, then what does this mean?
Yeah. So you know, make a long story short, I bought the ring. Ring cost like $60. Was it cheaper than that?
It was about 60.
It was about 60, 65.
He wanted 100 or something, but you know, he haggled him a little bit.
Yeah, nah. So I got the ring for 65. I get in the car. She looking at me like, you know, what you gonna do with this ring?
Yeah, I'm like, where you want me to put it at? I put my hands up. I said, where you want me to put this?
I wanted to put it right here.
Bye.
But so you know,
got the ring. You put it on your left hand.
Got the ring, and then I'm like, boom, hey, what did I say? I want to make sure I ain't. What did I say? I remember what I said.
Well, I was saying like, where you want me to put the ring at?
Oh yeah.
Like on my right hand, my left hand, my index finger. Like, where do you want this? And he was like, put it on your left hand. And I was like, so what does mean? We engaged?
Yeah. Oh, you sure did ask me that. And what I said,
you said, yeah.
Did I ask you to marry me?
No. Yeah.
I'm gonna say,
yeah. Well, so
not.
you said I want to ask you right though. You did. You said that. You said I want to ask you the right way though. And then we pulled over for a second.
Okay. And
you asked.
Okay. That wasn't the right way, but I guess.
But I mean, we were together when you bought it and stuff like that, and I think that because that happened that way. We got engaged, so I was not, because of how I wasn't okay. I hate to keep using the word ashamed, but because of how it happened and how I felt like the person that I was and the image that I upheld of myself, I didn't say much to people, right? Because there was no extravagant thing that happened for me to say, look how he proposed, you know.
Oh yeah. I mean, but you told people afterward.
I went home.
You went home.
I went home. I went to my mama's house. And I didn't say nothing. Yeah. I just walked in, and my mama, being the person she is, she was like, what is that on your finger? And why you got it on that finger?
Oh man.
And I was like,
I don't remember that part.
We got engaged today.
Oh dang! What'd she say?
She took us to dinner. No, you went to work, baby.
Yeah, I did go to work.
You took me home. After that, you went to work. She took me to dinner with my best friend. My mama didn't say nothing. I told her not to say nothing. My best friend came. And it wasn't until we was at the table that everybody, I'm doing this, and you know.
She was showing that guy off.
I'm doing this, you know. It had a little rock.
Yeah, a little rock to it.
A little rock.
Little $65 rock.
It was a rock, though. It was a little rock. And I was doing this, and you know, and they was like, girl, and I was like, yes, I got engaged, you know, but I'm trying not to make it a big deal. But I'm not gonna lie, I was happy as hell.
Yeah, she was.
I was on cloud 10.
So what was you really like? Oh, so it was the way it was.
It was the way that we got engaged. It
Gotcha.
wasn't
Okay.
about the ring. It was just how we went about. We bought the ring together.
Yeah.
We pulled up to the side of the road in that moment. It was
Yeah.
in the moment thing instead of a planned.
Hmm.
So I think that's what it was. The lack of planning made me think that everybody was gonna be like, "So you getting engaged because you're pregnant?"
Yeah, and that was my thing too, and that's also why I wanted to have this conversation as well, because if we being real about it, that's how we got married. That was the reason for us getting married so
Mhm.
early. And a lot of people, and even I don't know. I think for us, we never really just look back.
Mhm.
I feel like it was the right decision. Me personally, I feel like it was the right decision to make.
Mhm.
As a man, as a future father.
Yeah.
I just thank God that He blessed me with you, because that would have been terrible. So,
Yeah. So wait. So then, fast forward, because then we're
okay,
gonna get to the
okay,
getting married young part.
okay.
I was At that time I was maybe 3 or 4 months pregnant. I wasn't showing yet
Hmm.
or nothing like that. I think that I was just starting to really develop a relationship with your family.
Yep, yep.
Um, and we fast forward a couple months. I
Hmm.
kind of just you brought me in to move in with your family. You were living
Hmm.
with your mom, and I moved in with you all.
Yeah,
And well, we started staying with your mom because we knew that we were going to eventually move into the duplex at
yeah,
that
yeah,
time.
yep, yep.
But while we were waiting on that to happen,
Hmm.
we uh we I was starting to show,
Yeah.
and I remember we went for a walk because I'm like I was just reading all the things. It's like you got to start walking now if you want the baby to come down. Da 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 blah blah blah. Right.
Yeah.
So you and I went for a walk in the condos,
Hmm.
and I remember we were talking, and I was like, well, the baby will come soon.
Hmm.
We got a few months. At that time, I was starting to show, and I was going to church with you.
Uh-huh.
Which let me tell you something. This man of God right here brought me to church before. It was before we found out I was pregnant.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's really how I knew that I was gonna marry her, because I had brought other girls to church, and they just wasn't into it. Make a long story short, and then so after that, I was like, what, I ain't bringing no other women to church. I'm good.
Mm-hmm,
They
mm-hmm.
gonna play around. I'm good. I don't, what I'm saying, I don't want that energy there. But she noticed I was always going every Sunday almost, and then she asked me, hey, why don't you ever bring me to church, or why have you asked me to go to church with you? Right then and there, that's when I knew that that was my wife. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
So we going to church, and everything's great. We go to church every Sunday,
yeah,
and eventually we announced my pregnancy, and because I
yeah.
mean, at some point I had to.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started to um he was serving in the church too.
Mm-hmm.
He was serving in the church. And so because he was serving in the church, he was doing things like doing the communion and helping with baptisms and
Yeah,
just different things, helping with tech, things
yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah.
But so one day we went for a walk, and I was talking. I was like, "The baby will come at some point," and I don't know. I'm just wondering, like, when do you plan on marrying me? Because I don't think I want to be the only one without the same last name
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
when
I
the
remember
baby
that.
comes. I
Yeah,
think that I'll be the only one in the household with a different last name, and that don't sit well with me.
yeah, for sure.
And he was like, "Oh, it's gonna happen soon. You don't have to worry about it."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he, it was more of a thing where I could tell that he was kind of like, "Don't rush me, please don't rush me." But he
Yeah,
didn't. He wasn't disrespectful about it. He was like, "It's gonna come soon. I
right, right.
promise." Da, da, da. And so then we went to church the following Sunday after that,
Mm-hmm.
and the pastor pulled us aside
Oh yeah,
and said, "Well, you serving in this church, you in front of all these people being a leader of man, and your girlfriend sitting in there pregnant."
you probably shouldn't say that. We should just kept it low until you started really showing.
I was.
Oh yeah, you were showing.
I was showing because if you go back to my
You could have
pictures,
told me you had a pudge or something.
I
Yeah.
was 8 months pregnant with Zamir at this
Oh
point.
yeah, yeah, yeah. True, true, true.
So because I really started showing until like 7 months.
Yeah.
So by 8 months, I
Yeah.
was waddling.
Oh yeah.
Because I waddled right on down the aisle.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he said that he was like, girlfriend sitting in the pews pregnant, and you serving the church, being a leader man, so I don't think I can have you serving whatever until you all, get married and do right by God.
Right.
And I think that we went home and we talked about it for a few minutes, for for a little while.
Yeah.
And we called our pastor that same day and said we want to get married next week.
Yeah. So do you think that you was ready to be married then, or you just feel like it was a responsibility at the time?
Both.
Both. That's fair.
I think that I married the man that I was going to marry, regardless. I married the man that I was supposed to be with, the man that was supposed to be the leader of my household, the father of my children, the man I want to submit to, the man I want to put a ring on my finger and spend the rest of my life with. I think that I married that man.
Yeah.
Do I think that I married that man a little sooner than I had
right.
expected to marry that man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think it was? Like, I still to myself, I couldn't pinpoint what it was that made us make the right decision, because I know a lot of people have asked us, "How did you know?" So I have an answer, but I want to ask you.
If can get your answer first.
I can get my answer, but the question is, I'll let it be on the table. The question is, for those who may be wondering, or trying to figure out when is the right time, or if this is the right person. The question is, and I'll answer first. How did you know that this is the person you want to marry? Because a lot of things play a factor, right? Finances can play a factor with somebody. Um, Family values play a factor. Tradition play a factor. Religion plays a factor. All of that plays a factor. So,
how did you know that was the person?
How did you know that was the person? So, I guess I'll ask. Well, yeah, I'm asking you. How did you know? Because I gave mine. I just knew. Just based off of my values, the things I saw myself having, wanting, things like that. So how did you know that I was the right one?
I think at the time, if we thinking about like back at that time, it was the way that you made me feel. It was the way that you made me feel. You made me laugh. You made me want more. I wanted more for you. I wanted more for myself. I wanted more for our future children, because I was pregnant with one of them. I think that, I don't know. And then it's like the way that we prayed together.
Yeah.
The faith that you had. I think that those prayers I knew would be answered together, because we prayed together.
Right.
We still pray together, but I think at those times I just really felt like everything that I wanted out of life, I really wanted it with you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I felt the same, and I'll be honest, shit. I was a little nervous. I was nervous. I ain't gonna say a little. I was nervous. I was scared. Um, I guess mainly because not coming from a household who had two parents, stuff like that. Shit, I didn't know what to do. I just thought, well, I knew it wasn't just, oh, we're married, we're gonna live happily ever after kind of thing. I knew it was a lot of responsibilities that came with that.
Yeah.
But
was it scary though? Did that make it a little more scary?
Yeah, right.
Thought you maybe didn't know what to do, or?
No, for sure, because you used to have Zamira at the time. I literally had to go from living at home with my mom to moving out, having a wife, and having kids within a 12-month span, I guess you could say, right?
Yeah.
So it was a huge change. I think you may have had a more of an advantage when it comes to that, because you was, don't kill me, twins. You was the more mature one. From the outside looking, they gonna kill me, bro. From the outside looking in, you already was you was the more mature one, of course, and I was too. I'm the oldest out of all my brothers.
Yeah.
We was already just handling business, so I guess that's another way we align. When it comes to, I guess being an adult or a transitioning adult.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But I think that we were still kind of green because we were both still living with our moms.
Yeah.
Honestly and quite frankly, we both come from single moms, and
strong single moms,
very strong single moms. I think that really rubbed off on me when it came to my mom and independence and making decisions, which kind of probably contributes to why I was so ashamed as how it was happening.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, because like I said, I think that the expectation was just something that really just kind of came over me. It took over for me a little bit.
Makes sense.
So I mean, we've all been there, especially as women. I think that the vulnerability piece really just kind of came. Like I said, the way you made me feel, everything felt right.
Yeah.
The way you made me feel, the way I was thinking about my relationship with God at the time.
Yeah.
Um, and honestly, I feel like that's not really just about the church. You know, I think that what I knew biblically and what I believed biblically, I knew
Yeah.
what I wanted for myself.
Yeah. That's huge.
And
Yeah.
I think that the church we were in at the time is a very foundational piece of who we are growing to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, obviously we're no longer there because we moved kind of far away, but quite frankly, I think that it's important to kind of understand that I don't really think that they kind of forced us.
Mm.
You know, and I'm thinking about that now.
Yeah. No, for
Like I
sure.
think
For
right
sure.
now when I'm thinking about it, it wasn't a forceful thing. It was a here's something to think about. And honestly, I think that our pastor kind of told you like this is just something to think about. This conversation I
Yeah.
want to have with you. You're serving in the church, and
Yeah.
this is what this looks like. So you know whatever you do with that information. And I
Yeah.
think we decided from there.
Yeah.
Let's just go ahead and get married. I mean, what are we waiting for?
Yeah. And it made sense. At the time I understood it. It was just like it was from. I'll say this from the outside looking in. I think a lot of outside peer pressure played a
Mm-hmm.
huge role in why I was skeptical about doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, what I'm saying. You know how me and the homies got down. I guess you could say that. And marriage. I never really
Nah,
taught.
how y'all get down?
Now we change. We
how
change men now.
how they get down?
We change men now. So of course,
Oh, oh.
we think about marriage and
Mm-hmm.
missing the freak train and all of that stuff. So it wasn't an easy decision, but I knew it was the right decision.
Yeah.
That I want, and like you said, I was not about to have you out here being a baby mama. I
Oh yeah.
valued you,
Yeah.
who you were. I valued you as a person, as a woman, way more than just that. And
Yeah.
I just had to put my big boy pants on and make that move.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: to any women who have been with someone for a long time, who are maybe even thinking about marriage, um, what would you say, not to sway their decision, but to make them aware of their value as being more than just a, a 10-year plus girlfriend or a 10-year, 5-year, 10-year plus
Mm-hmm.
baby mama? What would you say to those young ladies or
Mm-hmm.
women to encourage them, or I guess you could say encourage them to make that decision as far as getting married
Yeah.
if they want to? 'Cause some don't want to.
Yeah. Um. So the amount of growth that I've experienced over time, not just in my marriage, but just as a woman individually,
Yeah.
I I think that I have learned a lot.
Hmm.
Um, just about the idea of being free to make the decision that works for you, that's best for you, and that you feel might work for you. I did that. I
Hmm.
made the decision that worked for me,
Yeah.
that I feel like was best for me. Um, that decision that was best for 22-year-old me
Yeah.
was probably the best decision of my life, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm saying that to say that I never really want to kind of try to encourage people to get married just to get married, right?
Yeah.
And so and I know that's not what you were asking. I was just saying like so
Yeah.
when I say what I can say to encourage them when they're thinking about taking that big step, this is only for people who actually want to take that step in their relationship or are in relationships with men that align with relationships with people that
Yeah.
align with their bigger goals and bigger values.
Mm.
I will say that for me, my question was, well, what are we waiting for? You
Yeah.
know? Um, and I was 22 at the time, but you got people who are 29, 28. 31,
Yeah.
in long-term relationships. And if that works for you, then that's fine.
Yeah.
But I think that when you start to kind of think about marriage and what that means, I think that there is really a time to kind of, first of all, do things like premarital counseling and have a
Yeah.
conversation
Yeah.
with your significant other to figure out if the goals that you have for your future family
Yeah.
or the family that you're creating, the goals that you have for yourself and the goals that they have for themselves align with what each other can provide.
Yeah.
I think that it is definitely something that you can learn to grow with and deal with together.
Mm.
But I think that for us, they just so happen to kind of come together.
Yeah.
They just so happen to kind of conjoin.
Yeah.
So
Man.
I never really try to force people into it. Although I will say that I
Listen,
am
man.
that girl that be like, "What you mean you're not ready?
Man.
But you doing what married people do, having babies
That's
and
that's tricky. It's tricky for me because you know me. I'm either hot or cold when it comes to anything like that. That's not a subject I'm cold on.
what
So
you mean you're not cold on it? Well, I mean, what you mean you don't have one?
when I say I'm not cold with it,
Mm-hmm.
that means that I'm gonna be straight up with you about it.
Yeah.
You know, and this is coming from me being married, um, the experiences that we've been through as a
Mm-hmm.
married couple. You know, and I'm a homie to tell you, if I have a homie who has been with someone for a long time, if they live together, got kids together, and they get and they get along, and they
Mm-hmm.
vibing right, what we doing, bro? Like,
What are we
what are you
doing?
doing? Because
Where are we going?
and for me, I care, especially like if we real close, you one of the homies, I care about you a lot. So I'm very passionate about the stuff I say to you. And a lot of men, especially, we always think that just being married means being tied down. Of course, you start thinking about divorce and all. You already thinking about the wrong stuff going into it. So my thing is just like I don't. I try to express and stress to the homies or anybody I come across who's been in those kind of relationships for a long period of time is that you're really robbing yourself
Mm.
because for us, I really and truly believe, good and bad, us making that decision to get married, it just opened up a door of unlimited blessings that I really truly believe you won't get
Mm-hmm.
unless you won't get if you just shacking up in a sense.
Mm.
So it's just like, and if fellas, if you've been in a relationship, you shacking up, you doing this and that. I ain't saying you got to get married. I ain't saying get married today, tomorrow. But if you feel stuck, that is why.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Um,
To me, and I mean, I ain't hardly wrong. So
I ain't hardly
mhm, for real,
wrong.
man.
I
So,
love that, baby.
but that's where I'm at. That's where I am.
I was also thinking we'll talk about this, I guess, in like a parenting episode and things like that. But
Yeah.
I also think that when you thinking about raising children and things like that as well,
Hmm.
there also comes a time where you have to kind of think about what that does for children being raised in a two-parent household and the difference. And I've had people, like single moms, tell me, well, like we talk about the kids, and they'll say, well, obviously it's different for you because like she has both parents when they
Yeah.
talk about like Zoel or the boys or whatever.
Hmm.
Your kids have both parents.
Yeah.
So I think that there may be some truth to, and they'll say it. They don't say that, oh, your child is better than mine for
Yeah.
that. They'll say, it might be a little different for you,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I think that it is. I think that kids raised in households where they have two loving parents. Let
Yeah.
me add that. Not just two parents who just deal with each other and just deal with them.
Big difference
It's a big difference.
for sure.
When they have a two-parent household where there are two loving parents
Yeah.
caring for them, I think that it makes a world of difference in the way that they make decisions, in the
Right.
way that they, accomplish their goals and their dreams. I think
Hmm.
that it just makes a world of difference on how they interact with other people in the world, their communication tactics.
Yeah.
Um, I think that it makes a world of difference. I mean, don't get it twisted. I do think that the way that those two loving parents raised them plays a part too.
Hmm.
But I just think that raising children in a two parent household,
Yeah.
it is it definitely makes a difference in how children are raised. But we can talk about that in the parent
Yeah, yeah,
episode as well.
yeah. So
Um, I want to kind of touch on because we're talking about getting married young, and I think that that's a controversial topic. And I say that because I think some people might find some negatives in it, and some people might have some positives. For us, it has been a very positive experience. For us,
very
it has worked
positive.
out. For
Mm-hmm.
us, there hasn't been a moment of regret
Mm-mm.
or anything that have made us wish that we didn't do what we did.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, my philosophy is that I'm so glad we got married when we did because it gave us so much time,
Yeah, for
so much more
sure.
time
Like
together.
we just hitting 30. We already been married 10 years, so
Yeah,
I feel like we got a long time to go, and the
agree,
kids will be up out of here.
agree. You know, we're gonna
And
still be enjoying each other.
yeah,
Can you kind of touch on some ways that you feel like we've grown individually and together
uh-huh.
from getting married so young? And like I
Yeah,
said, I just really want it to be something that people can also see the positives to and the benefits of getting married young, whether it be people who already got married young or people who are thinking
yeah,
about it or people
uh-huh.
who, are regretting or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Well, first, before I go there, I want to say I think a great baseline for us when we first got married is that we never had divorce as an option.
Hmm.
That was never an option. Like we've never talked about it. We've never had situations where we wanted to get divorced, right?
Yeah. No, agree. I
Right?
was gonna say I
All
think the
right.
times that we did talk about it, we talked about divorce is not an option. That's how we
Yeah,
talked
yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah. Because I mean, so that's the baseline.
Hmm.
What was that question again?
How do you feel like as a young married couple we've grown together
Yeah.
and individually?
So when you get married, most people think that it's all about. So when you get married, of course, we all hear that we're one now, right? Then in order for you to be one, you two individually still have to be whole yourselves.
Hmm.
I think we both got to a spot in our marriage where we were trying to give our marriage like 45% each, and we were still missing a huge chunk when we was together. So there was a lot of there was a lot of growth and things we have to learn on our own. For an example, me and my confidence, childhood trauma, whatever she had to deal with from past events prior to us meeting each other.
Hmm.
We had to grow in that sense first. So, we got a special guest. Reese decided to join us. What you doing, buddy? So yeah, we had to. There's a lot of work we had to do on ourselves in order to bring our marriage to a good spot, right?
Hmm.
So as far as together, we just take. So I was in therapy. She was in therapy. So we just took a lot of the tools that we've got alone to bring it to each other. What I'm saying? As
Mm.
far as communication, as far as how we speak to each other, how we argue, our debate, things like that. So it's never going to be a thing that you're not working on. You're going to always be working on your marriage because she's not the same person she was when she was younger, and so am I. And I'm not as well.
Hmm.
We're always going to continue to grow every year. Everything about her changes. Everything about me changes. So I think that you have to understand that in order to understand that it's going to be continuous work.
Yeah.
I think some people think you get to a point in your marriage or relationship where you get settled and it's a done deal. So now that person's going to be that way for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Nah, it's you. I'm gonna keep changing. She's gonna keep changing, and we talking past the physical form. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually,
Yeah.
all of those things. All of those things change. So
Yeah.
that's my take on that. So I think that's how we. I think that's another good way why another good reason why we are going strong still because we understand that and we like the challenge of that.
Yes.
I guess you can say, and
Definitely love that.
we love it. 'Cause I mean I'm gonna be real, bro. I'm about to be 33 in a few days. I probably wouldn't be able to stand 21-year-old me.
Mm. You about to be how old?
I'm gonna be 33, man.
Damn.
I'm gonna be 33, man. 33 young, man. 33 young. So
I'd say that, and I
okay.
just want to be a little specific about it too.
Mhm.
I would say that going into my marriage, like we kind of touched on this a little bit, but we were both raised by really strong, independent single women,
Mhm.
and I brought that into my marriage at the beginning. I wanted to do everything myself.
Yep. Yep.
I didn't need him for much.
She was
He was
independent.
just there to make me feel good the way he was.
She wanted
It was an additional.
she wanted Burger King though. She wanted me to get that though. But go
It
ahead.
was Wendy's. It wasn't Burger King.
It was Burger King in the morning with the French toast sticks and
Oh
the
my god, this show was the spicy
it was
nuggets in
spice.
the
Yes,
evening.
it
See,
was.
that's how much
Yes,
I
it
grown
was.
because now I like to cook. See,
Exactly.
but just kind of growing up, I think that I wanted to. I had this one idea of what it meant to be a woman, and to me, and let me just say before I go into that, my mom did not try to beat that into me, right? Like she didn't try to forcefully say this is what it means to be a woman. Have your own. She didn't do that.
Mm. Yeah,
Do
for
things
sure.
yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
She actually talked to me about, like when it's time to find a husband, this is how you and I think I mastered that in a sense. As far as the kind of husband that I married. Because she was a very do as I say, not as I've done type of person.
Mhm.
And the things that she said, sometimes I was like, oh, that kind of don't align with what you're doing. But
Yeah.
now I know why she said what she said. She always taught me the man you marry, let him be a man. Let him lead your household. Let him be a leader. Talk to me about submission. Like those kind of things are things that my mom actually talked to me about. And so coming into my marriage, I still kind of wanted to mimic what my mom, being an independent woman, was. I'm buying this for myself. I'm doing this for myself. I'm paying somebody to do this. I'm doing, and I just think that I kind of got to a place where, well, I guess one thing was some of that stuff didn't work for us at the time financially, but another thing was that I think that my husband was really just a great leader,
Mm.
and him being a great leader kind of inspired my thoughts and inspired my feelings and the things that I thought I needed to have or needed to do. um he didn't change my mind. It's just the person that he was and the things that he did kind of made me just look at things a little differently.
Yeah.
And I started to really understand my morals and values and the things that I appreciate out of life, you know.
Mm.
um I think that, for example, I'll say, I was a Baptist growing up. You were in Church Christ.
Yeah.
And going to that church just really opened my eyes to a whole new world of how to really think about who Jesus is to me. And, um, me, I guess also because I became an adult and really started to really wonder who he was to me and what he did for me.
Yeah.
So that was one thing. Some other things were like you were way better with finances and money than I was. I was.
Still is.
I am, but we're in a different place in
We're in a
life.
different place in life.
So,
we can spend a little bit.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and still, even when it comes to like the financial goals and things like that, when it's not a good time, you bring me back down to earth.
Mhm. I
Um,
try. I try to.
you try. No, you do. I mean, I'm gonna still make my purchase, but I'm gonna do it when it's certain times,
Oh,
right?
okay. Gotcha.
Make my
Gotcha.
purchase
Gotcha.
though. I'm gonna go to
Understand.
Target. Don't play with me. I'm gonna go to Target.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to Target.
Yeah.
Um,
I ain't gonna lie.
and
I'm gonna
Zoel
go. I'm
gonna
gonna
go to
go.
Target.
I'm gonna go to Target with you.
I know
I
you
ain't
gonna
gonna
go to
lie.
Target with me every single time. You gonna go and your face gonna be sideways
Yeah, but I'll still
when they
swipe the
tell you
card
that total.
then.
Cause he'd be like, "Why do we come in here for
Bruh,
diapers and we leaving out of here with $600 worth of stuff?" I know it'd be crazy,
that's
but I mean,
dumb.
sometimes you just want your house to look nice.
And I ain't mad at that now, so
Yeah.
I understand.
See,
I
it's
understand it.
growth
I
together. You
understand it.
see,
I
you
understand
see.
it. I ain't too mad no more.
But I mean, I'm just thankful, you know,
Yeah.
and I think that now, that's what it is. Attitude of gratitude. I think that that's something that you've really instilled
Yeah.
in our family and in our home, and just being thankful for where we are, what we have.
Yeah.
And oh my God, when I say this, a praying man, that man gonna lead us in a prayer at least twice a day.
Yeah.
Okay, and I love that for
Mm.
me. I love that for my kids. I love that for our household. I love that for you.
Nah, definitely. I love it for me too, man. You know, I'll be having to pray with y'all, boy, cause
I got a list. What else can I say? We've grown. Like I can
yeah,
go
we
on for
man,
days about the growth that
man,
we've
it just
experienced.
and that's the blessing. I feel like, you know, the union we have, and I also feel like, again, that comes from us being obedient. You know, that comes from us, you know, deciding to get married when God gave us the sign to. You know, 'cause it wasn't the easiest decision to make. You know, of course, it was scary and it was new to us, but we was obedient, and I think that, you know, why are you looking at me like that?
You're so handsome.
So, you know, I think us being obedient, we're reaping the benefits of that. Now, that's not saying everything gonna be peaches and cream. That ain't saying you gonna get sex every night. You know, it ain't saying
What
it
did you
ain't
just
saying that,
say?
you know. I mean, most people know the
What did you just
story.
say?
Most people, I say nothing. Most people know our story, man. We lost a child, you know. So,
A whole child,
man, our
a
first
kid,
at
our
that,
first
you know.
kid.
So it's not gonna be all what they say now, peaches and not peaches, what's
Roses and
roses and the whatever. They ain't gonna always be good. All right.
I don't know
So
what you were looking for, babe.
I don't know, man, but whatever. But it's not gonna always be good. But I will say the good outweighs the bad. You know.
Hmm.
So, but that's where the faith comes from. That's where the trust comes from. You know, if we're gonna conclude it, you know, I would say that keep the faith, keep God first.
Hmm.
Continue to know that it's gonna always be work.
Hmm.
Make the work fun. Get ahead of the problems.
Hmm.
When I say that, it's like,
That's a good
yeah, that's a bar right there. I gotta write that down.
one.
That's gonna be Instagram reel. That's gonna be a reel. Be ahead of the problems, meaning that if you know it's some stuff that you need to work on, you know, don't wait until you get into an argument to use that time to bash your spouse, because that's your way of getting it out. You know what I'm saying? Be ahead of the stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
that itself could be a whole another episode too. So
And be ahead of it because I remember when I mentioned premarital counseling, you
oh
know,
yeah.
that'll kind of help you understand if you're ready or not too.
Mm-hmm.
That's important to do. If you're in church, they offer those kind of things in certain churches.
Most yeah, yeah.
Most churches, I mean, there are therapists that do it,
Mm-hmm.
marriage and family therapists and things like that. So
Yeah.
premarital counseling is something that I would encourage
Yeah.
when you think about getting ahead of things.
We did it right.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, we
we
did
did it a couple
it.
times with Pastor.
Oh boy.
Another thing would be individual therapy,
Yeah, you.
healing
Yeah, for sure.
within internally yourself. Can I mean if you don't, that can spill over into your husband, your
It will
kids, your
spill
family. It
over.
will spill over
It
into your
will
spouse.
spill over.
Um, it will spill over. You're right.
It will spill over.
So understanding like those kind of things, getting ahead of things, having conversations and communication.
Having a hard conversation
Those
too.
hard conversations. Yeah,
Yeah.
like it'd be a lot of times where I used to be like, I really want to talk about this in this
Yeah.
moment just because I'm thinking about it and it's
Yeah.
bothering me for a couple of days because I don't want to ruin the mood. We've been so happy, everything has been so great, you know,
Right.
everybody been smiling, and here you come with this overthinking. But I think that in the end, once we had the conversations, it just really benefited because there are times where I would even think back on it, my overthinking self, and be like, I'm so glad I talked about that when I did, because I promise you that would have been a problem.
Oh yeah, communication gonna be. We definitely gonna have to have a
That's a
communication.
whole episode by itself.
Yeah, for sure.
It's gonna be fun. This is gonna
Oh yeah,
be
yeah. This is gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun as far as just bringing y'all in the journey, sharing some things with you all that we've learned and still is learning from being married for this long, from counseling, whatever you want to call it. And we just want to say to those who are still watching, the purpose of this podcast is to, of course, bring you into our lives and our journey, but to also share with you a lot of the things um, that has helped us sustain our successful marriage,
yeah.
right? And yeah,
Mm. And I don't know. It's just I mean, it's worked for us, and
Yeah.
so we just want to inspire other people.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about our
Super
next few
excited.
episodes. I'm excited about this podcast as a whole.
Yeah.
We named it Forever because I think that's sometimes a question that
Yeah.
that people get, like, you want to be with this person for the rest of your
Not
life?
for
How do you know
us.
that?
'Cause I mean forever. Not for us.
Well,
This is
some people want
even.
to
Yeah, I
know
know.
if they should go into something with that thought process,
Yeah.
and even like the idea of forever is it's scary for some people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people not people like me.
Mhm.
I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
This is
to be
true.
talking about 10 years from now, 20, 30, 45, 50 years from now,
Yeah.
to be able to say, like, I don't know what I'm gonna be doing, but as long as it's with you, I'm good.
I'm good. Yeah. So yeah. If you have any questions in the comments, I mean, if you have any questions, please put it in the comments.
Yeah.
We'll love to answer them.
Yeah.
And also, we definitely want to make this podcast more
Engaging,
engaging.
interactive.
So if there's anything you guys want us to talk about
yeah.
or base the episode off of,
Yeah.
please let us know. Let them know the email.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop it right here.
Contact.
Drop it right here.
CONTACT. Contact at 4EVRpodcast.com.
Yep, that's right.
4EVRpodcast.com. Forever 4EVR, shorthanded.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely send us some topics and things that you all would love to hear us discuss. I mean, we got some topic ideas, but we want to hear from the people. Yeah. But also send us some questions, scenarios, things like that about how we might handle things. I think that would be a fun thing to do, kind of see what our viewers are dealing with, going through any situations that you want us to touch on. Mm-hmm. Send us some scenarios. We'll keep it anonymous unless you ask us tonight.
I ain't saying no name, bro. Just send it anonymous.
Unless you ask us tonight.
Either way, if you don't, I'm gonna keep it anonymous.
Yeah, we'll keep it anonymous. Yeah, you're right. We'll keep it anonymous. And just send it to us, and we'll love to talk about it. Yeah. Go from there if you need our advice.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun podcast, man. I know we did some talking today. We're gonna have a lot of fun on here. Eventually, we're gonna have guests that that we would never bring anybody to you all that we don't feel like going to add value. So we're gonna bring some guests on here.
I'm so excited
about that. We're gonna have some fun. This is the first episode. We're in June. I ain't gonna say the date because I know we're dropping. Mm-hmm. But this will be the #1 relationship marriage podcast in a few months. If that, that's a promise. That's a fact. Any remarks, honey, that you have?
No, I'll see y'all next week. Every Wednesday, Peace. Tune in. We are gonna be live and in color.
You got something you want to say, buddy? No. All right, y'all. We out.